Hello friends, good morning. Welcome to this session. This is a workshop session for your Windows Server administration and network administration. Okay, so we'll just try to see some basic things today and we'll just try to understand why Windows Server administration and network administration is necessary for our networking career. So what exactly is Windows Server administration and what exactly is a network administration? See, as you know, there are many courses we have in networking, like we have something called cloud computing, security, cyber security, virtualization, Linux administration, database administration. There are many courses we have. There are many technologies and many certifications we have. Okay, so if you want to reach till cloud computing, or if you want to reach till virtualization or security, from where we need to begin actually? What are the courses we have to do first? What are the technologies we have to learn first so that we can reach a particular level in cloud computing? So we'll just try to understand everything from a very basic level to a bit advanced level. Okay, now before we say anything, a very simple question I just need to ask here, like what exactly is a computer network for you? Like, whenever we talk about computer networks, there is a very common definition we always hear, and that is computer network is a connection of two or more devices. What is a computer network? A network is a connection of two or more devices. Now when I say devices here, I'm talking about computer, I'm talking about server, router, switch, firewall, etc. These are the devices. Okay, so a network is a connection of two or more devices. Why we are connecting devices? For sharing. This is the purpose of a computer network, friends. A network is a connection of devices, a connection of two or more devices. Like I have mentioned, all the devices, there are major devices: computers, servers, routers, switches, firewalls, for sharing. Now when I say sharing here, what exactly we can share? Normally, we talk about data. Of course we can share our data. That is one of the main purpose of a computer network. We can share data. Besides sharing data, we can share many more things, like, okay, I got a message here from Satish. The voice is not clear, or not, you're not able to hear me. What about other people? Can you hear me, guys? Am I audible clearly? Anyone else, please? Mayur, Hemant, I have many people here. So can you
Yes,
hear
you
me
are audible,
clearly?
sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So Satish, there must be some problem from your side actually. So just try to like replug your headphone and hopefully you can hear me properly then. Okay. Yeah. So come back. So what is a network? It is a connection of two or more devices. Okay, and these are the devices. For what purpose we are connecting all these devices? For sharing. And what we are sharing data, as well as we are sharing hardware. Okay, we are sharing internet, we are accessing remote device, etc. These are some of the advantages of a computer network, friends. Sharing data, we know, like suppose if there is a server. Okay, I'll do one thing, I'll just take you to a computer network. This is a very simple design or a simple topology of a computer network. Now, can you see there are many devices here, or whatever devices we have discussed there? We can see all the devices here. We can see there is a server here, there is a switch, there is a router. Okay, there are some computers and laptops, and there is a firewall. These are the devices that are must in every computer network. There is a printer here. Without a router, without a switch, a server, and a computer, it's not possible for us to make a computer network. All these devices will come together. All these devices must be connected with each other. Then only a computer network will be established. Okay, so here there is a computer network with some devices. Now the quantity of devices are very less. Like we can see there is only one switch, there is only one router, there is only one server. It's not possible for any company or any network to function with one server. There should be some backup server. There should be many backup servers actually. There are different types of servers available. There is a server called DNS server, DHCP server, Active Directory server, email server, web server, file server, and every server has a backup server. So in company, if it is a very small company also, there will be around 12, 15 or 20 servers available. Right now, there is only one server visible, but it will be like around 15 to 20 servers in a small company. But if it is a big company, the number of servers can go up to like in hundreds. There can be 300, 500, 700 servers within a company. Coming to switch, there is only one switch here. But if the number of computers increase, like suppose if there are like 500 computers in a company, which is considered as a small company, 500 is not a big number actually. You know, there are companies where there are 20,000 people working. So that is considered as a big company. So if there are 20,000 people working in a company, just imagine there are 20,000 computers there. So if there are 20,000 computers, we need like, some 700, 800 switches there, because we connect all the computers to switch. And on every switch, we can connect like 24 computers or maybe like, 32 computers or 42, 48 computers like this. So we may need some hundreds of switches in a company where there are like thousands of people working. So the quantity of these devices will increase. The number of devices will obviously increase if you go to the big company, but the devices will be same. Servers, routers, switches, computers, printers, firewalls. These are the most common devices we use in any computer network. Okay, so why we are connecting all the devices? We know this very well now. We are connecting all these devices for sharing our data. See how many internet connections are coming here now. There is only one internet connection coming in your network. This one internet connection, all this 80 people or maybe 800 people or maybe 1800 people or maybe 18,000 people, it can be any number, right? So maybe if there are 18,000 people in a company, 18,000 people in a network, all these 18,000 people can connect to internet by using one internet connection. That sound good, right? We can take only one internet connection and we can share that internet connection with all the people. Now you should know as the administrator how to share the internet connection. It will not done automatically. Once you take a connection, all the people are connected to internet. It will not work like this, friends. We need to share the internet connection with all the people. Okay, now one more simple example. For example, imagine there is a server and in this server we have some data. There is a folder here. Let us say the folder name is project, and this project folder has some files like say abc.doc, xyz.doc. We have some files here. Okay, now there are some users here. There is a user sitting here on this machine. This user name is Hemant. One user is sitting here, his name is Mayur, and there is a user here, his name is Satish. These are the three people sitting on these computers. Now we can see clearly Satish, Mayur and Hemant. These three people computers are connected to this switch, and from switch they are connected to the server. That means this Mayur computer is connected to switch, and from switch is connected to server. That means Mayur is connected to server. In the same way, Hemant is connected to server, Satish is connected to server. That's good. Now, when these users are connected to server, can they access the folder which is there in server? What is the folder name here? We have created a folder with the name project. And can they access the files which are available in that folder? Normally people say like, okay, they can access because we can see clearly they are connected. But now listen, a very simple logic here, a very simple concept. And the concept here is the users cannot access anything from server until and unless there is a permission for them. If there is no permission for a user, he cannot access anything from server. So maybe in a server there is one folder, or maybe there are like 300 folders, maybe there are 2 files, or maybe there are 20,000 files. Whatever data a server contains, a user can access only that data that is allowed for him. So for example, imagine this project folder we are allowing for Hemant user, and we are not allowing for Mayur and Satish user. So Mayur user and Satish user are although connected to the server, but they cannot access the project folder. Only Hemant has given the permission. So Hemant can access the project folder. Okay, maybe there is some other folder in the server, and that folder we have permission for Mayur and Satish. So Mayur and Satish can access the other folder, but Hemant cannot access. This is the way it works. This is what administration is all about actually. So we should share our data. If you're not sharing the data will not be accessible by any person. Just remember one thing here, friends, the devices like computers, routers, switches, servers, whatever devices we have, okay, whatever machines we have in a network, these machines or these devices will work according to our configuration. The devices will not work on their own. A server will not work on its own. A router will not work on its own. A switch or a computer will not work on its own. Even your mobile phone. If you take your mobile phone, it will not work on its own. We need to do something in that mobile phone. Is it possible like your mobile phone is ordering some food on Zomato or Swiggy automatically? That's not possible, right? We need to take the phone, enter inside the phone, open Swiggy or Zomato, then order some food. Is it possible like your mobile phone is messaging to one XYZ person randomly? That's not possible. We need to take the phone, type the message and type the number, and that message will be delivered to that particular number. So there is a process for everything. In a computer network also, there is a process for everything. Server, there is a way of configuration. Router and switch, there is a way of configuration. Computers, there is a way of configuration. So whenever you make a computer network, there is a way of configuration. We have to configure the devices. So once you configure the devices, then only the devices will work. Whether a server is a virtual server or a physical server. Physical server means it is like your computer. Virtual server means it is over a cloud environment. Virtual server or physical server, both are same in working, but physical server we can see, virtual server we cannot see. That's the only thing. So whether it is physical server or a virtual server, we must configure the server according to our need, according to our use. Then only the server will work. Now suppose there is a server in our company. This server is called, let's say, email server. We know what is email very well. We use our Gmail, Yahoo, Rediff, all these private emails, public emails are this. We use these emails, right? So in company also there is an email server. Now suppose imagine we are like 5 people here. Suppose every person has a email server in their company. So the way you configure email server in your company and the way I configure the email server in my company is same. But the difference will be, maybe in my company there are like 1500 people who are using email server. Maybe in your company there are 780 people who are using email server. Maybe there is a company where there are 5600 people who are using email server. So in my company there are 1500 people using email server. I need to configure 1500 users mail IDs. Some other person is configuring 780, some other person is configuring 5600. So the configuration can go up and down, but how to configure this server will remain same. If you go back to your mobile phone here, friends, maybe someone is having 300 phone numbers, 300 contacts in their contact list. Maybe someone is having like 2000. But how to save 300 phone numbers and how to save 2000 phone numbers, the process is same. How to save a phone number? Just write the number, then say add contact, and then there is the option like we can add a name and then say like save. The number is saved permanently in your mobile phone, right? So for everything there is a process. So here also for routers, servers, switches, and computers there is a process. So when you talk about a computer network here, friends, let us go back to the basic definition. The computer network is connection of two or more devices, and these are the devices we have for the purpose of sharing. And what we are sharing, we have written clearly there, we have sharing data, hardware, and all those things. But the main thing we need to understand here is the devices will not be connected by each other. They will not be connected automatically. That is the one thing we need to connect. Second thing is the devices will not be configured automatically. Once you take a router, there is no configuration in a router. Once you take a server, there is no configuration in a server. So all these configurations we have to do. So according to our configuration, a computer network will work. According to our configuration, a computer network will work. So that configuration we need to learn. So whenever you start your career in networking, like I said, there are many opportunities. There is something called cloud computing, okay, security, cyber security, Linux administration. There is something called CCNP and CCI, ethical hacking. service providers. There are many options available. There are many paths available in your networking field. But from where we need to begin our career, we need to start from server administration and network administration. These are the two administrations we need to learn to understand all the other technologies in a better way. Like if you go to cloud computing nowadays, which is more famous, right? AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, whatever you say. When you go to cloud computing, friends, like 40 to 50% topics, whatever we are learning in MCAC and CCNA, that is server administration and network administration, it will be again repeated in cloud computing. There is something called password policy. There is something called IP address. There is a user. There is a group. Okay, there is something called NatPad. There is something called access control list. There is something called route table. Whatever names I am mentioning here, these are the topics that we are learning in server administration and network administration. These are some of the most important topics that you need to understand in your networking career. So this is what we will learn in Windows Server Administration and Network Administration. Okay. So I'll just take a break for 30 seconds here. Just try to analyze, just try to understand what I said here. So if there is any doubt, any question, you can send me a question directly in my chat box, or you can simply talk to me today over the microphone. So everything is possible. This is just a workshop session, guys. Just be frank, be open, and whatever doubts you have or whatever you want to say here, feel free to just send your message. Feel free to just send your question. Okay. And Satish, I can still see you're raising your hand. Am I audible to you, Satish? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I hope you understood some basic of a computer network. I hope you understood how the computer network looks and what devices are there in a computer network and how it works. See, actually there are two types of computer networks. One is called internet, another one is called intranet. I said you like there can be 15,000, 20,000 people working in a company. If you take the example of India, like there are big companies in cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Mysore. These places, Chennai, these places are more famous for IT. If you go to like north side, Noida and all these places, these are like big places for IT. There are many companies in a city like Hyderabad, friends, where there are like 20,000, 30,000 people working. You know, these Amazon people, they started that data center in Hyderabad actually. They already launched last year, right? Or maybe some months before they launch. You know, they are planning to take around 35,000 employees in this Hyderabad branch. Only in this Hyderabad branch, around 35,000. I'm not saying all the branches of Amazon, only in Hyderabad. So 35,000 people are working in a single branch. Google has a branch in Hyderabad. It has like around 10, 12,000 people working. There are many companies where there are like thousands of people working. Hundreds is a very small number in computer networks nowadays. Thousands of people are there in big companies within a city like Hyderabad or within a city like Chennai. So all these people are working on their computers and they are connected to servers, routers, switches, and they are accessing data. They are accessing data from the internet. They are accessing data within the company. They are making some document. They are uploading some document. They are accessing some softwares. So they do all different sort of work. But if they have the permission to do a particular task, then only they can do that particular task. So who should give that particular permission? The administrator give the permission by using a server. The administrator will configure something in a router. The administrator will configure something in a switch. I repeat again, according to the administrator configuration, a computer network will work. Computers, servers, routers, or anything, it will not work on its own. We have to configure everything. Okay, so that configuration we have to learn. So I'll just try to make things more easier for you, friends. I'll just try to like make a small table here. Let us say this is your server administration. Okay. Then we have the network administration. So what exactly we are learning in server administration and network administration? Network administration means I'm talking about CCNA. Why CCNA is so compulsory? Why CCNA is must? Now there are three major topics we are learning in CCNA, friends. One is called IP address. Second one is router, and third one is switch. It will take around 35 days for us to finish CCNA. I'm not writing what are the topics we are learning in router, what are the topics we are learning in switch and IP addressing. All the topics will be shared with you with the management. Whatever email ID you have provided, they will share the complete curriculum with you. I'm just saying the major topics: IP address, router and switch. IP address will take nearly 1 week. IP address is one of the most important topic we have, and it will take nearly 1 week. Okay, now when you go with some other technologies like Linux administration, cloud computing, virtualization, security, cyber security, or whatever courses you are planning to learn, whatever path you are planning to choose, IP address is one topic where you should have perfect knowledge. I always say this: you should not have the knowledge of IP addressing, you should have the perfection in IP addressing. This is such a huge topic for our career. For next 12, see, we are not making a career for like 3 months or 6 months, right? You are making a career for next 12, 15, 20 years possibly. So if you want to survive in any field for 12, 15, 20 years, the basics should be the strongest. I'm not saying IP address is the basic, but I'm still saying the basic should be the strongest. So in basics, the server administration and network administration part, there are many concepts that will come in basics from server administration and network administration. IP addressing is one topic that is a basic, that is an intermediate topic, as well as an expert level topic. So if you're good in this IP addressing, you can understand many things in other technologies. I have met many people came to me and they spoke to me directly. They say like, see, we are learning cloud computing, but we are facing difficulties somewhere. I'll show you where exactly they will face difficulty. I'll just go to my existing class, my CCNA class. Let me just go to this. I've just finished IP addressing in this class. So these are the IP addresses, friends. You can see all numbers and all those things. Right now, maybe numbers are looking a bit more for you, but once we enter into this IP addressing concept, things will look more easier. See, there is something called subnetting concept. So this was my class that I finished yesterday only, the IP address topic. And see, the people will face difficulty here. They will ask me like, what is this /23? Because when you go to cloud computing, this number will be there. See, /15 will be there, 25 will be there, 19 will be there, 17, 10, 26, all these numbers will be there. In IP addressing, this topic will come in 5th class. See, it is coming in the 5th class. So before 5th class, we have already spent 4 classes. That means we have spent more than 5 hours learning IP addressing. Then this particular /25, /29, /15 will come. Without understanding this particular concept, there are many things in cloud computing that we cannot understand. So I always say this: IP addressing is one thing where you should have the perfection. Then we have something called subnet mask. Subnet mask will be like 255, 255. Then there can be 254, 248, 192, 128. Why this number comes, how this number comes, all these things we need to understand in IP addressing. So this is what IP addressing and subnetting is all about. This is one of the most important topic that you learn in CCNA, that you learn in your networking career. So if you have the better knowledge of this /26 or the subnetting or subnet or IP addressing, the other things will be more easier for you to understand. Okay. Okay, I'll do one more thing. I'll just show you one more small network here. Okay, this is a computer topology here, friends. So it's not possible for you to understand anything as of now if you're a fresher, but just for knowledge purpose, I'm showing this. See, there are many servers here, like there is a DNS server, DHCP server, NTP, Radius, many servers, and there are many other devices in this computer network. Okay, there is a router. Now there is a switch here, there is a firewall here. We have all these devices. But see, there is one thing that is very common everywhere, and that particular thing is your IP address. Can you see there is a number written here, 172.16.0.0/30? So what is this /30? 195.1.1.0/24. You cannot see a computer network without IP address, and you cannot see a computer network without /24, 23, 27 written there. So this is what you need to learn. So these are computers. What is the IP address of computer? 192.168.40.0/24. So it will take at least 5 to 6 days for us to get perfection in IP addressing. This is what you learn in your CCNA. Then we have something called router and switch. We need to see types of routers and how to configure router, how to troubleshoot router. There are many topics in router and there are many topics in switch. So overall, it will take around 35 days for us to finish network administration. That is your CCNA part. Now coming to server administration part, friends, there are some other topics we need to learn in server administration. To begin with, we need to see what is a server first of all. What are the types of servers available? You know, server is a very misused terminology. People say in different ways what is a server and all those things. This server is actually a machine as well as a operating system. I repeat here, friends, server is a machine as well as a operating system. Like you have a computer, that is a machine. You have a router, switch, okay, mobile phone, all these are machines. So server is a physical machine, okay, but a server is a operating system also. It's a very common thing, every person knows this. A machine will not work without a operating system. Like if you take example of your mobile phone, that is a physical machine, but there is a OS there. Maybe there is a OS like Android, or maybe there is a OS like, you know, iOS. So we have like different types of operating systems there. If you take example of your laptop, maybe you're using Windows 8 or 10, or hopefully very soon you may use Windows 11. So every machine has your operating system. So server machine also has your operating system. There is something called Windows Server operating system and Unix or Linux server operating system. So physical server we will discuss for 1 or 2 classes. That is more than enough for us to understand about physical server. But the rest of the course, more than 1 month, we will be discussing about the operating system. Like what is a server operating system? What is server OS? Types of server OS. Install server OS. Now it will take like, this will take like around 4 days or 5 days. What is server OS? Types of server OS, installation of server OS, it will take like around 4 days. That's it. Then remaining 1 month or nearly like 28-29 days what we are learning. Then we are learning there is something called service. A server will host a service. If you take a server machine, in that server machine we can host a service called DNS or DHCP or web or mail or file, or there is something called ADDS, which is more famous actually. So this is what we need to learn. A server will host some services. DNS is one service. So what is DNS service? How to install DNS service? How to configure DNS service? What is DHCP service? How to install DHCP service? How to configure DHCP service? So like this, we need to learn some services. See, right now we are in middle of a online session here. We are connected to each other by using some internet connection. You know, if there is no DNS server running and DHCP server running somewhere over the internet, right now we don't know where exactly it is running. That we will see when we go with the course. So if this DNS service and this DHCP services are not running over the internet, you know, this connection will not be possible. This class would have been not successful without the DNS and DHCP servers running. So DNS and DHCP servers are running over the internet, and DNS and DHCP servers are running within our company also. So we need to know what is a DNS service, DHCP service, and we need to know how to install and configure them. There are certain topics which are famous. There are certain topics from where you will get interview questions. One of the topic is DNS, DHCP, and this topic called ADDS. Actually, ADDS stands for Active Directory Domain Services. Out of 35 days, nearly 60 to 65% time, or nearly like 65% time, we are spending on ADDS. This is such a huge topic. 13-14 classes we are spending only on Active Directory. So when you talk about server, we need to see what is a server operating system, what are these types of server operating system, how to install server operating system. Like I said, it will take around 4 days to finish this. So once you finish this, then we need to see what service a server can hold. When you talk about server, we need to talk about service. If I say one simple example here, friends, like suppose if I say like I'm a government employee, I work for the government. Okay, that is like I am working for a particular government. Done. Your next question for me would be, okay, you're working for government, you're a government employee, but in which service? Are you in police department? Are you in electricity department? Are you in education department? Are you in, like, suppose, uh, health department? Like, there are many departments here, right? So each department is acting as a service here. So I'm a government employee, but I'm supposed in education department. Someone is a government employee, he is in police department. So in the same way, server is like government. Server is like government, but this server can have multiple services. There are different types of servers we have in the company. So this is what we need to learn in our server administration course. So majorly ADDS, DNS, DHCP, file server, backup server, WDS server, DFS server. I'm just writing etc. here. Again, to see the curriculum, they will just send the curriculum to you, whatever we are learning here. All the things are mentioned in more details, but I'm just writing some of the services that we are going to learn. Okay, so without the knowledge of server administration and network administration, if you are planning to go for cloud computing or security or ethical hacking or any other course, in a friendly way, I can say, friends, you're wasting your time in a way, because it is not possible to understand all those technologies. It is not possible to understand everything in those technologies without the concept of server administration and network administration. Now, suppose you are facing an interview as a cloud administrator or on cloud administrator, or maybe on security administrator, whatever. Interviews have multiple levels. The starting level will always be on server administrator and network administrator. I repeat, interviews will be always on server administrator and network administrator. If you able to answer the questions from this particular round, different rounds will be there. So if you're able to answer questions from this particular round, then in the next round, you will facing interview on cloud or security or some other things. But if you're not able to answer here, you're not reaching the second level, guys. This is open fact. You will not reach the second level. So any person who is planning to start a career in the networking, in the administration part, see, we have many opportunities here. We have many other paths here. We have good job opportunities, good salaries. There is a huge option here. Okay, so cloud computing, it's too big now. Virtualization is very big for many years now. Security is always security. Okay, Linux administration is again a very huge thing. So if you want to reach anywhere, there are many options and many paths available. But if you want to start the process in a best way, just try to complete your server administration, especially Windows Server administration and network administration, that is CCNA. Then decide for yourself where you want to move. As of now, I cannot say like which one is better. I have experience on security. I'll be taking cloud computing classes. I am taking Linux administration classes. So I know what is there everywhere. I know what is there in most of the paths actually. But right now, I cannot select which is a better path for you. It is up to you to decide like which is a better path for you. I cannot select whether cricket is better or football is better. I cannot select whether tennis is better or maybe like suppose hockey is better. It's up to the person. Some person become a legend in cricket. Some person has become very famous in football. It's up to the person's interest. But to go to any of this path, I can say only one thing. Server administration and network administration is mandatory. It is in a way must. Okay, to understand all the other concepts in the technologies, whatever I have named, these two concepts are must. Okay, now again, I'll take a break for 30 seconds here, friends, in case any doubts, anything say, anything ask. Again, please feel free. This is just a workshop session. It is not a classroom session. It is a workshop session where we can like. Okay, there is a question here like, is PowerShell scripting we will learn in MCSA? See, actually for PowerShell, I have added one class there. PowerShell scripting is altogether a different course. It is like all commands and everything. Whenever you talk about Windows Server administration, you're talking about graphics, graphical user interface. But PowerShell is becoming day by day in more demand. So I have done one thing. I have simply added a topic there. I'll just show that. I have created a file where I have added around like 50-60 commands. So I'm not saying like you're learning everything in PowerShell. That is not possible. You will not be learning everything in PowerShell anywhere. But just for knowledge purpose, from my side, I have added a topic. See, this is what PowerShell commands I have added here. All these are commands. This is just like an add-on topic. This is not in any MCSE curriculum anyway. PowerShell is altogether a different subject. Windows we can configure in two ways, friends. One is by using graphics and one is by using commands. So whenever you learn MCSE, anywhere, whenever you study MCSE, you'll be studying in graphics only, because Windows servers are more famous for graphics. But in the last class, I'll be discussing all these commands. See, I have some more commands here. So this particular class will take like 1 day for us to finish all this class. So this is just an add-on topic from my side. But like I said, PowerShell will not be there for you in any course anyway. But still I have added one class, because normally in interviews they are asking you some questions about PowerShell scripting, PowerShell commands. So from my side I have added that class, but it is not there in your MCSE syllabus. You'll be learning all graphics there, graphical user interface, how to install Windows OS and graphics, how to configure in graphics, and how to manage everything in graphics. Okay, I'll just show you one server. So meanwhile, I'm expecting some more questions here. I'll go to my existing class. This is my morning 8:30 class. So to do MCSE and CCNA practicals, we have some softwares here. Like for MCSE, there is something called Oracle VirtualBox or VMware Workstation. You can use any one of these software and you can do all practicals. I'll be sharing all these softwares with you. I'll be showing how to use these softwares. Okay. And for CCNA, there is something called Cisco Packet Tracer. And Cisco Packet Tracer is again a software that is designed by Cisco that will be used. Okay, so right now what you see on your screen is actually a Windows Server 2016. This is your real server. This is server where we are practicing. Okay, now for example, I'll just show one example to you. When we install the Windows Server here, friends, nothing will be there. But now we can see many things. Like if you go to accounts here, there is a user like Alia, there is a user like Anamika, there is a user like Bharat. If you go to like IT, there is something like Rahul, Rashmika, Maria, Pawan. We have all these users. I have created these users here actually. I have showed them how to create departments, how to create users, because this is what administration is all about. Okay, for practical purpose, I'll create a user here. So just right click on IT, new, there is an option called user. Like suppose I'm creating a user here with the name, let's say, Jasprit Bumrah. Okay, so I'm just writing Jasprit Bumrah here, and there is a password here, ABC at 123, whatever. ABC at 123. Next. So see here, the user is created successfully. This is graphics. Now, if you want to go with PowerShell, this is the option PowerShell. Now, how to do user creation in PowerShell? It will be something like this: ds add user. Then there is something called cn. Suppose the user name is, let's say Mayur. I'll use your name. Cn users dc India dc com pwd abc at 123. ds add user cn Mayur cn users dc India. Okay, dc equal to com. Now see, ds succeeded. DS succeeded means we have successfully added a user. So where is that user available? Let us see. Go to this users option and just refresh here. Can you see Mayur user is created successfully here? So this is the difference. PowerShell will be like all commands, and graphical will be all graphics. So in majority of cases, I can say around 90% cases, Windows servers will be used in graphics. But slowly and steadily things will change. Companies have started to moving into like commands, because commands will take less resources, less hardware resources. But still it will take a lot of time to like move into commands and all those things. So for that reason only, I have added around 40-50 commands in our PowerShell class. Okay, now this is your Windows server. Now coming to CCNA, friends, this is the software. It is called Cisco Packet Tracer. I'll be sharing this software with you. And in this Cisco Packet Tracer, what we can do, we can add a router here. There is something called switch, and we have some computers, and we have a server. Our network is ready. I just need to connect. I'm not explaining you what I'm doing here because it will take around some classes for us to learn all these things. So say your computer network is ready here. We can simply go to this router. There is something called CLI and we can configure the router here. Now, once if I say no here, now we can see router. I can say enable here. I can say configure terminal here. So whatever I'm doing here, exactly it will be the same command. Exactly it will look same on a real router. See, no one can afford to take real routers and switches to practice. No one can afford to take the real servers to take practice. So these simulation softwares are best designed for practical purpose, for testing purpose. If you have a computer or a laptop with like 8 GB RAM, you can do all MCSE practicals, CCNA practicals, Linux and security. You can do all these practicals if you have a minimum RAM with 8 GB in your machine. You need only that much, nothing else. I'll just say host name. Let us say host name as India. See, so this is the way we need to configure router. Okay, so these are the softwares we use to practice. I'll take back to my existing classes here. Let me go to this class. See, there is a router here. It is connected to switch and we have different departments, sales, accounts, marketing and server. We can do all the configuration that we need to learn. So learning wise, there is no problem here. See, I'll just write something in a clear way so that you can see things in more clarity. One is all the classes are recorded. You'll get every class as a recorded class. Okay. Second thing is you will get books, some lab manuals I have created for MCSE as well as CCNA. So you'll get these lab books so that when if you're stuck somewhere while practicing, you can just refer the book and you can just practice yourself. And the third one is you will get some softwares like that Cisco Packet Tracer and that VMware Workstation. I'll be sharing all the softwares with you and I'll show you how to download the Windows Server. Actually, I'll show you that practically so you can easily download for yourself. And then you'll get some interview questions and answers. I have created some questions and answers. These questions and answers are useful for a fresher and up to like 2-3 years of experience person. So I'll be sharing all these things. Recorded classes will be shared by the management and the remaining things I'll share. I'll just try to take you to one of my recorded class. I just got this video like 2 days before. This is for CCNA. So these are my recorded classes. Till now we have completed whatever we have completed. These are the classes. So I'll just try to open one class. So right now everyone is connected to some numbers. That is 4 billion numbers. The first design. Okay, this is my class actually. This is my class. So you can get all the recorded classes here. Each and every class will be shared with you. So these are the 4 advantages for you, like recorded classes, lab manuals for MCSE and CCNA. We'll be sharing softwares and interview questions and answers. Last 3 things are from my side actually. It's not compulsory to share the interview questions and all those things, but I'll share with in every batch. So I'll share with this batch also after some classes. Okay. And in case if you miss any class, like see, once you finish our class within 2 hours, you will receive your recorded class within 2 hours. So in case if you miss a class for some reason, before you come to the next class, you should watch the previous class and you should come, because in this courses, whether it is MCSE, CCNA, Linux, AWS, security, whatever, every class is connected to another class. Class number 3 is connected to class number 4. Class number 17 is connected to class number 18. So in case if you miss class number 17, in class number 18, you will feel like I'm talking in German or Chinese maybe, because you will not understand many things here. That is the reason the recorded classes are huge, because in case if you miss a class, you can just revise the class and you can just pause the class and you can come to the next class. And in case if you want to revise the classes again and again, you have the recorded classes with you, so you can revise the classes again and again. So these are the advantages for you in like online sessions right now, and these are the things you'll be receiving from our side. Okay, friends, so that was the thing I was supposed to discuss with you. So I hope I have delivered things in a better way so that you can understand things in a better way. I'm not saying like what options are available after server administration and network administration. Just for knowledge purpose, I'll write you something. We are not discussing all these things. You should know what opportunities you have in your career. So I'll just make a note here. So once you finish this, you have something called CCNP, CCIE, security, wireless, data center, Linux, virtualization, cloud computing, ethical, hacking, I'll just say, etc. Cyber security, and there are many things. So after completing Windows Server administration, network administration, first of all, in most of the cases, you will get a job on Windows administration and network administration only. Okay, you'll get a job there. But after getting some experience, or if you already have experience, or if you want to move into like suppose a big company by getting some more knowledge, then these are the options available. Right now, cloud computing is a very hot topic. Virtualization is there for some time. This is also a very huge thing. Security is obviously huge every time. I can say like you will see yourself for next 12, 15, 20 years in one of these things. Okay, of course I need to add Linux administration. I cannot miss Linux. So for next 12, 15, 20 years, friends, if I can say with more confidence, you can see yourself in these topics, in these paths. You will see yourself somewhere in virtualization or cloud computing, security, or Linux administration. These are the four most demand technologies. There are more jobs here, better salaries, better packages, and more opportunities here. And for rest of your life, rest of your career, you can see you will be here somewhere. But to reach there, we know where we need to start. We need to start from our MCSC, that is Windows Server Administration and Network Administration. I'm not using the terminology here as mandatory. I'm not saying these two courses are must. I'm saying these two courses will help you a lot in understanding more than 50-60% of concepts in the other courses that I have mentioned here. Okay, and in case if I use mandatory also, I'm not wrong here actually. If I say compulsory, then also I'm not wrong here. But still, you know, I should not use a terminology. Okay, so okay, I'll give one simple example. Like I said, you security, virtualization, cloud, Linux, you will use the concept of IP addressing there. But are you going to learn IP addressing there? No. If you go to cloud computing, the trainer will say like our network is 192.168.1.0/26. He will just say this. Now it will take like 4 classes for us to learn what is 192.168.1.0/26. Now this is the best example, friends. If you want to learn the technologies in a better way, start from here. And you have more job opportunities when you go for this. Okay, so in the end, I can simply say like it is close to mandatory for you to learn this Windows Server Administration and Network Administration. Okay, friends, so that's it for me for today. So I'll be here for like some more time. It's up to you now to say like whatever you have doubts or whatever questions you wanna say or whatever things you wanna add here, suggestions and things will be more than welcome. So over to you now, friends. VMware course is not available at Durga. But if we get some people, maybe we can arrange VMware, vSphere, ESXi servers. We can arrange. It's not a big deal that we will say. We can arrange that course for you. We just need to get some people so we can arrange that course. I have like 13 years of experience, guys. I have started my career way back in 2005, 6 actually. It was like hardware, so I'm not counting that experience in here. But still, hardware was like huge 15 years before. Computer hardware was not so easy like it is today. Hardly we have computers in our homes or schools or colleges anywhere. So it was like learning computer hardware was a huge thing. So I'll just try to add my experience here, what I have done in my career. I started from hardware, so but still I'm not writing hardware here. I have experience on MCSE. I have done CCNA. Then there is something called CCNP. Then there is something called CCIE. CCIE is Cisco Certified Internet for Expert. It's a huge thing actually. What is CCNA, CCNP? When we start our CCNA course, then I can explain you these things in much detail. But as of now, I have done this much. Then I have done security. Right now, I'm taking Linux administration classes also, as well as I'm taking AWS classes. AWS is Amazon Web Service. For last 5 years, I'm into like VMware also. I have taken VMware classes also. So I have worked and experienced on this multiple platforms. So I'm not only on like Windows or CCNA or only on security or these things. 13 years is a huge time. After 13 years, you should not say like you have done only MCSE and CCNA. It will be a crime anyway, right? After 12, 13 years, if you say like, okay, I know only this much, that should not be done. After 12, 13 years, you should say like, okay, I have expertise in this many fields. You should say that for sure. You should get that much knowledge because all these things are connected with each other. It's not like security is completely different with CCNA or security is completely different with AWS. No. See, in MCSE CCNA, in these two courses, there are like 10 to 12 classes where we are learning about security. In server also, we are learning about security. Router, we are learning about security. In switch also, we are learning about security. At every stage, there is a security. But if you go with special security, it is all about security. But whatever courses you do, if you go with like AWS, there also we have security. If you go with Linux, there also we have security. So this is my life in last 12, 13 or in a way 14 years. Started with like hardware way back and then started with like Windows Server Administration. 2006, 7 or 2007 actually when I started facing interviews in companies for jobs and all those things. MCSE CCNA was more than enough to get a good job. I still remember MCSE CCNA was more than enough to get a good job in any big MNC. But right now the demand is more, so only MCSE CCNA is not sufficient, or only AWS is not sufficient, or only security is not sufficient. You should have the knowledge of many things. Of course, that is like it is a good thing because if you do only AWS, your knowledge is not at all full in a way because you are missing many other things. You are missing server administration, network administration. Without mentioning server administration and network administration on your resume, it will be difficult for you to get an interview call also. Maybe you're a AWS certified person, still it will be difficult for you to get an interview call. So there is a process of everything, and the process of your career is start your career from Windows administration and network administration, learn these things, then decide where exactly you want to move, whether VMware or security or AWS or Linux. It's up to you to decide. Right now I can say only one thing, just do these two courses, then hopefully once you finish these courses, again we can sit for like half an hour or 1 hour. We can see like, okay, what options we have in cloud computing, what we have in VMware, what we have in security, all those things we can discuss then. Right now I'm not in a position to explain anything because as a fresher it is not possible for you to understand any of the other technologies, friends. Okay, so just try to concentrate more on this MCSE and CCNA. That will be great for your career. Okay friends, so that's it for me for today. Again, I'll be here for like a couple of minutes in case if you have anything to say, anything to us, more than welcome. If nothing, then hopefully we can stop the class. So over to you now, friends. Thank you, Mayu. Thanks a lot for joining the class, and thank you everyone for joining the class. And for any other questions, like this will be the things. Just remember this: you're getting all those things. But for fee structure and for like curriculum and all those things, please contact the Durgas of management. They have your numbers and the mail ID. So hopefully they will contact you. They will send a detailed email to your mail ID. So just go and check the detailed email. Everything will be written there. And hopefully from Monday we are starting the class. The class is at Monday at 10 a.m. and this is your MCSE class. And after a week, I'll start CCNA at 11:15 a.m. So this is a package, MCAC and CCNA, this is a package, friends. So if you are planning to come for pack, it will be great for you if you learn both the things, and it is not difficult for you to learn both the things in a single day. Attend both the classes in a single day. MCAC is talking about servers and users and computers and data, and CCNA is talking about IP addressing, routing and switching. So IP addressing, router and switch. Yeah, so it is not difficult for you to understand both the technologies. So I can say today's what day? Today is like August 28th, right? Yeah, August, September. October first week, you can finish your MCAC and CCNA, both the courses, and then you'll be in a better position to like decide where exactly you want to move. Just remember, these are the options you have. You can just choose any one of the path and you can see yourself moving in that path for rest of your life. No need to change the path. Once you enter in AWS, 12, 15 years, 20 years, you can be in AWS. Security, 12, 15, 20 years. Linux, like you can just choose your path and you can be in that path forever. Okay, so these are the two classes we are going to start. So Monday 10 a.m. it will be like MCAC. Starting 2-3 classes will be very basics. Every class is important, like I said to you. What I'm discussing in first class, that thing will come again somewhere in 20th class or 15th class or somewhere. Okay, so in case if you're interested, friends, just talk to the management, get all the details. So hopefully from Monday 10 a.m. I'll be starting my MCSE class. Then after a week of gap, I'll be starting the CCNA at 11:15 a.m. Classes will be there at least for 1 hour 15 minutes. 70 minutes session will be there. Starting it will be like around 1 hour, but later on it will go up to like 1 hour 10 minutes. And this particular session, this recorded session will be available on Durgasoft YouTube channel. This is the YouTube channel of Durgasoft. Within like 2 hours, the class will be uploaded. Like see, DevOps with AWS, it is uploaded around 25 minutes before. Hadoop is like 59. AWS is uploaded 1 hour before. So like this class will be uploaded within like 2 hours. So if you want to see, if you want to revise this class, you can just go to the Durgasoft YouTube channel and you can revise everything. Okay, friends. So again, thanks a lot for joining. This was just a workshop session. So hopefully you understood what I said. Hopefully this session was useful for you. And very good luck for your future, friends. Whatever you do in your future, today, tomorrow, for the rest of your life, very good luck. Just be calm and just try to choose your path, choose your better path. So right now there are better options available in networking. So just decide for yourself. Okay, and in case if you're available, in case if you're coming, so see you on Monday. That's it, guys. Thanks a lot again. Thanks a lot for joining. Have a nice day. Good luck. Thank you.